Aloha, I'm Larry Kikas, president of the Hilo Orchid Society. Welcome to our annual show and sale. We've been holding an orchid show for over 60 years, since before Hawaii was a state. This show has grown to be the largest orchid show in the state of Hawaii. Hawaii is the ideal place to grow orchids, and Hilo is the orchid capital of the state of Hawaii. Join me for the next few minutes to see what makes this orchid show so special.
We started preparing for the show actually back in November. It's great to say that you're show chairperson, but nobody does something like this alone. We have over 100 volunteers that help. People put in so much time. It's truly amazing and humbling that people are willing to put that much time in. And because of that, we put on a really good show. Every year we select a theme, and this year we chose Symphony of Orchids. We like to have a theme that those of our orchid growers who are putting in displays can be as creative as they want to.
After I was asked to work on the display design for this year's show, I started thinking about the theme, Symphony of Orchids. For me, it became a three-dimensional music score, sort of creating this environment that you could actually walk into. So the idea was to get all the flowers up high and in your face so you could see them a little bit better. It's designed on a spiral, or a part of a spiral, and or a base clef if you look at it from above.
After setting up the exhibits, we have judges from the American Orchid Society and other volunteers from our Hilo Orchid Society that looked at all the orchids in the exhibits, and there are thousands and thousands of these orchids, to determine which ones to give awards to and prizes.
Today at our 62nd Hilo Orchid Show, we have some of the results from our ribbon judging. Our grand champion, it is Beth Miltonia, and the flowers are really well presented. It's just spectacular. The one that won the reserve grand champion is Monet Era Millennium Magic Witchcraft. It's very different, very striking, so when you see something that outstanding, it just catches your eye. It's a great educational experience, and it's really fun.
In addition to growing orchids, our Orchid Society does community service, and one of the things that we have done in this show is we hold a preview party the night before the show as a fundraiser for a deserving community organization. And this year, the organization that we're supporting is the Kuakahi Mediation Center. Hilo Orchid Society for several years has been supporting scholarships for students at the University of Hawaii at Hilo.
Last year, the Hilo Orchid Society decided to name the scholarship after Yasuji Takasaki because he is a huge figure in the history of orchid growing on the Big Island. He really valued education, so now we're doing kind of the same idea of helping students go to college. It seems very appropriate to name this scholarship after Yasuji Takasaki. We award 2 scholarships each year to students, especially who are planning to go into the orchid industry in some way, but we will award to someone in tropical horticulture or related fields. During the Hilo Orchid Show, we have a silent auction. Items are donated by members and by generous businesses in the community. All that money is dedicated to the scholarship.
Our show is not just about orchids. We also have local entertainment, local musicians. We have food service, a wonderful fashion show featuring local Hawaiian designers. We also have many vendors selling orchids. Most of the commercial orchid growers in the state are right here on the Big Island, and it's those growers that help make this show possible.
Starting about 60 or 70 years ago, in fact, I think it was around 1921, the very first orchid was actually brought here from Singapore. It was one of the very first hybrids that was ever made, the Miss Joaquim. So that orchid was grown here in the millions. World War II came along and things changed. Eventually, over a period of time, those fields became kind of abandoned. So what we're trying to do now is we're trying to go back and put orchids everywhere in nature, because it's kind of our new vision that once again the Orchid Isle will thrive and we'll live up to our name, and people will come here to see orchids. The zoo has been very cooperative with us. It's the Hawaii County Panaeva Zoo and Botanical Gardens.
So this award is we're giving out for the first time this year for the organization that has done the most to promote Hawaii Island as the Orchid Isle. Ben Mizuno will be accepting the award on behalf of Panaeva Rainforest Zoo and Gardens in recognition of the outstanding job that they have done in conjunction with our member, Eric Thompson.
Another project that we're taking on now is we're going to be placing orchids all over downtown Hilo. You'll also see us putting them in the trees along Kalakaua Park. If anyone has orchids that they would like to donate to the society, they certainly can call us. You know, we have our website and they can make contact through that. Or if there are any folks who would like to put them in their front yards, that's another way that they can help us. If they would contact us, we will come out and help them. So when tourists come, they'll be able to travel down the streets and say, wow, look at the orchids actually grow wild here. What a great place this is to come and enjoy nature.
While you're here in Hilo for the Orchid Show, be sure to see all the other wonderful attractions that this island has to offer. Any visit to Hilo would not be complete without seeing our volcano. In addition, we have wonderful gardens, Liliuokalani Gardens, just north of Hilo, the Hawaii Tropical Botanical Gardens, and Akaka Falls State Park, which has a spectacular 400-foot waterfall. Right within the city limits of Hilo is Rainbow Falls, which is a spectacular waterfall that falls right over the mouth of a lava cave. We had a great time putting on the show this year, and we're already making plans for next year. If you're going to be in Hilo in August of next year, we'd love to have you come join us and see our show. If you're a Hilo resident, why not check out our Hilo Orchid Society? We'd love to have you be a member and find out more about the wonderful world of orchids.